Hello everyone and welcome back to DC Central, and in today's video we're going to be breaking down and reviewing Supergirl Season 5 Episode 19, otherwise entitled Immortal Kombat, and otherwise known as the impromptu season finale for Season 5, so let's discuss. So we have finally reached the end of Supergirl Season 5. Of course, we did have the sort of big finale week from the other two Arrowverse shows, Supergirl ending here, as did Batwoman, and obviously Legends is still going to run on for a little bit longer. But for the Supergirl, I mean, you guys know I've not loved this season. I think this season has been really poor. I haven't liked the story, I haven't liked the villains, the individual character stories haven't been all that engaging to me. So personally, I wasn't exactly looking forward to this finale, and given the fact that this obviously is an impromptu finale, I mean, this Supergirl isn't as bad as the other shows in the Arrowverse, as basically Supergirl was only slated to have 20 episodes this season anyway, so it's only one episode short, so it's not too bad. I was a bit scared about how they were going to wrap up the whole Leviathan thing, given the fact that, in my personal opinion, I have felt like that story has been handled so poorly and has not been explained well at all, that I was a bit worried about how they were going to start wrapping it up, because I kind of feel like it's barely even started. But I must say, I actually think, as a finale goes, this wasn't all that bad. So in this episode, we do have everything kind of coming to a head, and we do eventually kind of get to this point of taking down Leviathan. And the whole taking down a Leviathan thing was cool. We do see the headquarters officially. Lex is able to get himself in there, and we can see everything that's going on. And I much more enjoyed Leviathan in this episode, because I actually felt like I was finally getting an understanding of who they are and, you know, what their sort of plan was. I think that was really actually quite interesting, especially because the villains that we have in this episode, obviously we have Ramakhan, who returns once again, and we also have two other kind of elemental bender characters who also come out with him to fight the team, and that was all cool. I enjoyed seeing that, even though these two other sort of elemental bender characters we have no connection to. They literally just come out of nowhere and we see them and I'm like, okay, but you know, it was still cool to kind of have that fight scene and stuff like that, and especially because I enjoyed the teamwork. Like, there was like a whole team assembled for this finale, which was nice. Obviously, along with Cara, there was also Dreamer, Magan, John, Alex was there. Like, they literally had a whole team assembled. Dreamer as well. So there was a nice actual team dynamic in this episode, which I really enjoyed, because we haven't really had that in a while, especially because Brainy's not really here in this team. He's kind of off elsewhere. But I really enjoyed all that stuff. And again, going back to Leviathan, like, I actually started to finally understand who they are and what they were trying to do in this episode, particularly how it connects to Obsidian North, and also how Lena's non-Cherry project came into it and stuff like that. So I finally was actually in this episode starting to get a grip on the storyline. It just sucks that it only happened in the finale. And also, Alex actually gets a new suit in this episode, like a brand new suit, her first official superhero suit, in air quotes. Obviously, we did see Kelly suggest to her last week that yes, you probably should wear a suit, and we get to see it here. Really cool. It has a lot of similarities to the Bluebird suit. If you know Bluebird from comics, from DC Comics, it is very similar to that, even down to the eye makeup and stuff like that. Well, I feel like the eye makeup is a bit much. I do like the suit overall. I think it's really cool. It's kind of reminiscent of Oliver's original suit from Arrow. It does kind of look like that, but obviously it's black and blue rather than green. But it's a really cool suit. Of course, Alex kind of becoming a vigilante is a story I'm very excited about. That's something I'm very interested to see in Season 6. I think that could be, you know, because Alex, I've always said, is the best character on the show. She still is till this point. I would love to see what they're going to do with this, because Alex deserves a storyline like this. She deserves to actually go out there and be a superhero. So I'm excited to see her go out and do that. And this suit, again, I could do with them maybe losing the eye makeup. I think that's a bit much. I think it kind of does look a bit weird. But beyond that, I think it's a really cool suit, and I'm really happy with it, and I cannot wait to see what they do with Alex going forward with this storyline. We also got some good scenes between Cara and Lena. Like, Cara finally basically just rips it off Lena, which was really good. Because Lena has just been an awful character this season. I like Lena. I think she's a cool character, but she has been awful in this season. Just in regards to what the writers have given her. Like, just the idea of her, you know, betraying Supergirl and going through all this. And I like the fact that Cara, like, just basically stands up to Lena and says, yeah, you've been really bad. You've been a bad friend. You've done all this stuff. And she just is able to rip the band-aid off, essentially, and just let loose on Lena. And it was good because it allows them to finally sweep it under the rug, because they do eventually kind of make up and become allies again in this episode. And that was nice to see, because again, this whole thing about them being enemies and her being a villain in this season, it's just all been really stupid, because we knew it was not going to go anywhere, and it was so out of character for Lena. Yeah, she was kind of manipulated and what have you, but I never bought it. It was always stupid and ridiculous to me. But here we actually have them finally, settling it all down, and they were able to move forward with it, which was really nice, and eventually their scenes by the end were really cool, so I was really happy with all that, and I'm really glad that that's just finally settled, because it's just been so ridiculous this whole season. So it's been so nice just to finally I almost had like a sigh of relief, when they sort of shook hands at the end. I was like, thank God we are past this, because it was just ridiculous. And I actually think the scenes between Melissa Benoist and Katie McGrath were really good in this. I genuinely bought, because you genuinely buy that Lena is sorry for everything she did. And I really think that's Katie McGrath kind of coming out there to sort of show, like, yeah, this was a bad storyline. And also, I gotta say as well, Melissa's performance overall was really good in this. I really love the scene where she talks to all the VR users. That was really good. Really cool stuff. Bit weird how they kind of displayed it, but I really like Melissa in that scene. I think she does a really good job in this episode. So, good stuff with Cara and Lena, and I'm glad that's finally just out the way and gone. And then we have Brainy, who's finally breaking away from Lex, and he is able to sneak onto the Leviathan ship to basically create this device that is able to contain the gods of Leviathan and trap them in this little thing. He basically shrinks them so he can capture them, and this was great. We get to see Brainy in his kind of classic look again, which was really nice to see, and also Megan Rath, who of course is Jesse Rath's sister, who kind of plays a alternate version of Brainiac 5. We see her return in this as well, which is really nice. I really liked her actually earlier on in the season. It'd be nice to see her kind of maybe recur. I know she is on a Hawaii 5-0, so it might be a bit difficult, but still, I really enjoy her character, and I think that Brainy in this, I think Jesse Rath is actually one of the better actors on the show, because he really sells it in this episode, as he always does. I think he absolutely knocked it out of the park in this, and I genuinely felt like he was in danger. Like, is Brainy going to die in this season? Like, is he going to die in this episode? Obviously he doesn't, but still, I think that was really intense and really interesting what they did with him, so I actually got scared for him for a minute. So I think Jesse really has done a fantastic job this season. Brainy has been one of the only characters who really has had a really consistently strong storyline. It's been a frustrating storyline, but frustrating in a good way. Like, you're supposed to feel frustrated for Brainy. And I think Jesse has done a fantastic job with that all. So really good stuff. And this episode was kind of the example of that. And we also had Eve as well. Eve Tessmacher officially breaking from Leviathan. And we get to see her reunite with her mother, which was nice. And also we got to see Julia Gonzalo, who of course had played, she's played Andrea Rojas this entire season. We get to see her officially get reactivated as a Krata, which was really cool. I enjoy her in that superhero suit. She doesn't really do anything though. She just kind of gets activated, goes to assassinate Supergirl, and then gets stopped by Lena. But cool stuff as well. It's nice to see that again all kind of get wrapped up and settled down, as it seems like Andrea is going to get, basically removed from Leviathan as well, which will basically just, whittle this all down eventually. So overall, as someone who hasn't liked this season of Supergirl and has particularly not enjoyed the back half sort of running up to this finale to do with Leviathan and things like that, I have to say I was very pleasantly surprised with this finale, and I genuinely thought this was a really good episode. And as a finale, despite the ending, which, obviously is a complete cliffhanger and ends, but obviously this wasn't intended, it does end with them eventually going to stop Lex and what he's going to do. I think this works really well as a finale. I really enjoyed the teamwork with the characters. We felt like we actually had an established team. Seeing Alex in the suit is awesome. Again, I can't wait to see what they do with her in the future, especially in Season 6. I think she could have one of the best storylines here. Hopefully they do it much better than the Guardian one, because I think this could be much, much cooler. Especially because Alex, she just deserves a storyline like that. Again, Cara and Lena finally wrapping all that up and shoving that under the rug, I'm very pleased about. And Jesse and Brainy, I loved all that stuff. I thought it was a really good example as to why Jesse is a great actor on the show and why I love Brainy as a character. So I think this was honestly a really strong finale. There were a couple of things that were weird. I mean, I didn't really enjoy the sort of why Gemma Cooper I don't really get what Gemma Cooper was. Like, she kind of transformed into this weird robot that kind of looked like the robot girl from Transformers 2. I don't know what that was about. And there is some dodgy action here and there. But, overall, I thought this was actually a pretty strong finale. I think it's one of the better finales that Supergirl's done, honestly. And I think this was really fun. So for me, I like this episode a lot, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. But what did you guys think about the Supergirl finale? Make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. In regards to other videos for Supergirl content, I am going to have a Supergirl seasons ranking video coming up as well, like I've done for Arrow and The Flash this season. And I've had to think about it, and I probably will do actually season overviews. I think I am going to do them, especially because obviously over the next, few weeks, over the summer really, up until 2021 January, there's not going to be any new CW content to talk about really. So I'm probably going to go and review each of the seasons. And in regards to other content as well, I might do a channel update video or something to let you guys know about everything that I'm going to be doing, but I'm also going to be reviewing Stargirl. I'm probably going to review Swamp Thing as well, as and when it comes out. I won't be watching it on the CW though, I'll be watching it on Amazon Prime here in the UK, but I'll probably watch that as and when it's coming out. So there is going to be content coming to this channel as the summer goes on, so make sure you stay tuned for all that. And also, if you want to see more DC content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads from me, and hope to see you guys again in the next one.